Hi boys and girls, I wanted to show you how to do an input-output table. I will be doing a Google Meet on Monday at 1 o'clock to go over input-output tables. We might do a little bit more hands-on with it. But they're not too difficult. You just got to find the pattern. You got to find the rule. It's not too hard. All right, so here is our first input-output table. What an input table is I'm putting a number into this imaginary machine. So say I'm the machine. I put a 2 in my ear. And then I do something to that 2, and out pops a different number. So what you're trying to figure out is what happened inside that machine to have that number pop out. So input's what's going in. You have a rule that's happening to that number, and then output is what pops out. So here's an input-output table. I have put in a 2. I made a fingerprint. I've put in a 2. So Miss Murphy's the machine. She puts in a 2. Something happens to the 2 inside Miss Murphy's brain. And then a 5 pops out. So think what would happen to a 2 to get a 5 to come out. Then a 3 is put in. So I put a 3 in. Something's happening to that 3 inside Miss Murphy's brain. And then a 6 pops out. Next, the input is a 4 that goes in. Something happens inside Miss Murphy's brain for a 7 to pop out. A 5 goes in next. Something happens inside Miss Murphy's brain for an 8 to pop out. What must that rule be? What is happening each time to the input? We're adding 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 3 is a sum of 6. 4 plus 3 is a sum of 7. And 5 plus 3 is a sum of 8. Here's where you have to know your addition fluently without fingers, toes, calculator. Gotta know it. So my rule for this one would be plus 3. The rule is plus 3. So if I had a 10 down here, say that the input was a 10, what must the output be? Well, I know if I'm putting a 10 in and the rule is plus 3, I know 10 plus 3 is going to equal 13. Let's look at another one a little bit more difficult. This skill is really a good practice with your fluency for adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing. So you're going to have to know those pretty well. All right, let me make my table. Okay, so I'm making this one a little bit harder because I want to challenge us. All right, so this time I left a few things blank. I want to know what the rule is. Okay, so this time my input's a 2. I put a 2. If I drop my whiteboard. I put a 2 in, and remember the rule stays the same for the whole table. It does not change. I put a 2 in. Something happens inside Miss Murphy's brain for a 4 to pop out. Okay. Next, I put a 3 in. There's a rule, something happening in here for a 6 to pop out. Now I put a 7 in here. Something happens for a 14 to pop out. What is happening each time? We got to know what the rule is. Is it adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying? I know that 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. 7 times 2 equals 14. So I bet the rule is times 2. All right, so now I have an input of 8. What's my output? So I'm going to put an 8 in. Something's going to happen. I know the rule is times 2, so I'm doing 8. The rule is times 2. What pops out? A 16. Since you are watching the video, I'm going to make one of my friends who joined the lip sync contest one of our secret word this time. Harper was one that joined our lip sync contest. She sang pretend to sing a Dolly Parton song, one of my favorite ladies. So the secret word is Harper because she joined our lip sync contest. Okay, so now this is how I don't know what I put in, but I know a 20 pops out. So something is put in. I do times 2, and then 20 pops out. What would I have had to multiply times 2 for 20 to pop out? So what times 2 equals 20? 10. So this is going to have to be 10. I'm not doing 20 times 2. I'm thinking what times 2 got me 20. So you got to pay really close attention to what column you are in. It does make a difference. All right, last question. We have an 11 that we put in. Something happens to the 11. Oh, we already know what happens to the 11. Times 2 happens to the 11. I'm getting too into this. 11 times 2 and a 22 pops out. All right, so this is how you do input-output tables. Make sure you watch the videos for the assignments. I will have a Google Meet today at 1, Monday at 1 o'clock. If you are struggling, if you come across a question you don't know how to do, message me. I will Google Meet with you. I'm by my computer 90% of the time during virtual learning, so I will most likely see your email or your response pretty quickly. So if you need help, Google Meet. These aren't very hard. You just have to think of you just have to think of the input and then the output. You just have to think of it like that.